I can copy your homework, sure, just make it look different so it doesn't look like you copied it. So if I were to say that Twitter is mad about Palworld, that would be an understatement. I've cataloged a number of tweets of people who are unhappy about the outcome of this game being successful. So anyway, Palworld has become one of the biggest and fastest selling games of all time. And it reached a peak of over 1 million people. And just to put this into perspective and context of how big that is, how many people that is. Let's look at a 24-hour peak right now of, let's see here, all-time peak. So this is all-time peaks for all games of all time. So PUBG is the GOAT with 3 million online players at a time. And then Counter-Strike 2, big surprise there. Lost Ark is number 3 here. Dota 2, and then Palworld is beating out Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, New World, Hogwarts Legacy, and Baldur's Gate 3. All at the same time, while it is being also on Game Pass. Think about how fucking ridiculous that is. This is incredible. And so if you look at this right here, you can see, obviously, people are loving this game. You look at the charts, the numbers are good. You look at everything else, the numbers look very good. But if you look over at their Twitter, it has sold over 3 million copies. How much is the game? The game is, what? $30, right? So it's like, that's like $90 million. Let's say it's only $50 million. That's insane. In 40 hours. Oh my God, it's now 4 million. Is that right? Let me take a look at it right now. 4 million PAL tamers in only about 3 days. God fucking damn. Oh my God. 4 million. This could have been Nintendo, but they lost it. That's right. They served a need in the market, and the market responded. Much to the dismay and dissatisfaction of a lot of people on Twitter. There have been a number of people who have been furious at the fact that Palworld is successful. And the funny thing about that is that very clearly, and so obviously, none of them matter. This has been something I've been talking about for about 2 or 3 years now, is that nobody really cares about the minutia of how a game is created. Nobody cares about the process. Nobody cares about the tools used. Nobody cares about who worked on it. Nobody cares about any of these things. They only care about the final end user product. And at the end of the day, the people that made Palworld made a good end user product. About morals and ethics. Yes, nobody actually cares about morals or ethics. All of these people would complain about Elon Musk. Did any of them stop using Twitter? No, they didn't. Maybe they did, and they used Threads for a while, and then they didn't get the amount of impressions and social media likes and, like, what's the word for it? Like, virtual pats on the head. They used Mastodon or Blue Sky for a week, and they realized that they were actually losers, that nobody cared about anything that they had to say. And this guy isn't special, by the way. You're not special, you're not a loser, and you're not the only one, at least. But the reality is that nobody really gives a shit about these things, and people have no problem providing a platform for a transphobe to make money if they can simultaneously farm dopamine from likes at the same time. And so I want to keep in mind, I want everybody to keep in mind, nobody really cares about any of these issues. They're all fake. It's all for show. It's complete virtue signaling, and none of it really matters. And you want to hear another example? Look at the UFC. The fighters in the UFC say whatever the fuck they want. People try to put Dana White on a fucking, on the hot seat about it. He says, shut the fuck up. And people still watch UFC. Do the advertisers leave? Some of them do, but they get replaced by the ones that don't. And that's all that really matters. Too long have we lived in the shadow of waiting and hoping for Twitter approval for a game to be made. Too long have we sat around and hope that, oh, I really hope the gaming journalists like this one. I hope the outspoken tastemakers on Twitter approve of this. No more. That time is over. And every single day, it dies even more. And that's why people are mad about Palworld. Is because it proves it. It proves that you can be completely right, you can have the moral authority, and none of it really fucking matters. Because the user doesn't really care. And neither do the people making the tweets either. And I think that everybody's starting to realize that. Hogwarts Legacy was the ultimate proof? You're right, this is just the, this is just another example. They just want attention, being mad for clicks. That's right. There are over 800 Pokemon. How the fuck do you make something completely original anymore? Who cares? Why does anybody care about if something's original? I don't care about that. I just want it to be fun. So if it's a fun game, I'll play it. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, you really think the Pokemons are original? Like, look at Gyarados. It's just a sea serpent. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, look at Dragonite. That's just a Chinese dragon. Like, come on, what is this? Like, look at Diglett. It's just a turd. Like, it's a turd. Like, look at Doug Trio. It's 3 turds. Like, the Executor is just a fucking tree that's got a face on the coconuts. Like, Bulbasaur is a turtle. It's a blue turtle. Well, you really think this is some kind of fucking... You really think they're reinventing reality here? It's Squirtle. Squirtle. I was thinking of Squirtle. My bad. Yeah, Bulbasaur is just a... Bulbasaur is actually kind of unique and cool, to be fair. He is. But, you know, that's just the way it is. That's 1 out of 150. Bulbasaur's a frog. Yeah, and he is kind of a frog. Right? And plant frog. Exactly. And so, nobody really gives a shit about this kind of stuff. Everybody, like... Because, like, Dragon Quest apparently, I think, came out before Pokemon. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. And they got all the same things. Like, wow, somebody... Can you believe... Oh my god, that somebody made a caterpillar? Holy shit. Somebody made one of those little shellfish things. Wow. And somebody made a duck? Oh my god, there's a duck in there. A platypus. Oh my god. And somebody thought to make a ghost too? Wait, there's a dog that's on fire. Wait a minute, hold up. You telling me that only one person can own the idea of having a crab with eyes on it? A crab? What? Bro, I thought Nintendo had the copyright on crabs. There's probably other people that do, but it's not Nintendo. Here's the reality, guys. Of course this shit's stolen. No fucking shit, it's stolen. Duh. That's why it's good, because people know that one works, man. Mic issue's been getting worse? Yeah, you're right about that. Let me take it down a little bit. The point's backwards. Dragon Quest is older than Pokemon. That's what I'm saying, right? And so, anyway, there's been a lot of accusations against Palworld. Steam's newest hit, Palworld, has been accused of plagiarizing designs from Pokemon as social media users negatively highlight its creator's history with generative AI tools. Cry me a fucking river. You think anybody actually gives a fuck about this? You think I give a fuck if they use generative AI? Absolutely not. Who cares about if they're using AI? No real people care about this. These are Twitter problems. There's the proof right there. Nobody really gives a shit. All this fucking moral high grounding. God, oh, bro, like, I need to go on the next Scuff podcast, like, bro, like, oh my God, like, next time Train does it, like, I'm gonna go off, like, about this. I cannot wait. Hopefully we get some other people on there, and, I feel like they're gonna say the same shit that I am, because, like, how dare you have fun? Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, it's moral fucking high roading. And I feel like companies have been so afraid to do it. And you want to know what the funny thing is that Palworld actually wasn't the, Palworld wasn't the first one to do this. It was actually the finals. Give me a second, my dad's calling me. Everything's fine. So yeah, anyway. So yeah. Hope all's good. Yep, we're all good. Everything's totally fine. So the finals, let me go back. Sorry, I apologize. I'd called my dad earlier. He told me he was going to call me back. He just called me back. And so, yeah, I want to make sure I pick up the phone and talk to him. And anyway, so the finals used AI. AI voice commentators from the finals. The finals is already getting canceled. And made the AI announcers into TTS. So you can see, obviously, a lot of people, like I made a video about this too. Look at this, 2 months ago. And I said the same goddamn thing I'm going to say today. The finals is so fun, though. Palworld is accused of AI with no proof. Well, the kind of proof that these people need is the kind of proof that they use to get people canceled on Twitter for having the wrong opinions. Implications, assumptions, and no evidence. Proof like a witch trial. Yeah, I mean, if they sink, they're a fucking witch. Or if they weren't a witch, and if they float, they're a witch. So you don't get them. Problem solved. So anyway, the finals used AI. And a lot of people were really unhappy about this whenever it happened. You can see, obviously, about a couple months ago. And do you know who wasn't unhappy about it? The people that played the game. Because real people don't care about these problems. These are fake problems that people on the internet invent in order to act like they are doing something more important with their life than taking phone calls at an office all day. This is something that they can, latch on to and pretend to care about on the internet while they work for a company that profits directly from third world slave labor. But don't worry, guys. They're going to hold people accountable for using AI voices in a video game. I think that people's patience on these kinds of things has just started to run thin. And Palworld is a really great example of that completely boiling over. Whenever the finals came out, nobody cared about the fact that the AI voices were AI generated, because nobody really cares about the problem in the first place. The only thing that people really care about is a good game. They don't care. How many people care about slave labor? I've used this example before. How many people think that slavery is kind of an L? Yeah, like, would you guys agree that, like, could we get an L in chat for slavery? Yeah, it's kind of an L, right? But nobody's going to be getting rid of their phone, are we? So, we don't completely hate slavery. We don't want to be associated with it directly. Right? I mean, that's, like, nobody's really going to get rid of their Jordans. I mean, but the electric cars, those are nice, it's a nice car. What are you going to do? You're going to get an all new car. You're just mildly slavery adverse. And I think it's important to have a little bit of reality check for these kinds of people, because at the end of the day, these are people who want you to live up to a standard that they don't even try to live up to themselves. These people can't even maintain their own standard in terms of their own personal consumption of entertainment, but they want other people to work their whole career based off of their fucking morals. Are we kidding? What is this? I want people to change the entire direction of their life. So we're going to read a few of these tweets here, and we're going to see what they have to say. Everyone needs a phone, though. It's not a good argument. Really? You need a smartphone. We really let's say there was a phone that was ethically made, but it cost twice as much money. Would you buy it? Would you buy it or not? In daily life, it's generally needed. I know we need slavery. That's why everybody has phones. But you didn't answer the question. Would you pay double the price? You tell me you need a cell phone. No. There's definitely a sliding scale that convenience, ethics, factors, first world issues. You're so true, bro. Like, I completely agree with you. Yeah. Yep. Because that's really, and I appreciate the honesty. Because I think that a lot of people feel the same way. Like, if I could push a button and it would remove all the bad things in the world, I would do it. But if I had to, like, climb up a hill to push the button, then, like, I mean, really, how steep is this hill? How long is the hill? How long is it gonna take? Like, am I gonna be able to get, like, a ride back down? Like, is there gonna be ice cream at the top of the hill, too? Like, or is it just gonna be the button? Like, what's really, like, you know what I'm saying, right? I mean, things get more complicated. And so, yeah, I think, obviously, you're totally right. It's a sliding scale. It's something we gotta live with, but the AI art is seen as something that we have some manner of control over, so I think that's why people are adverse to it. Well, that's where the delusion comes from. This guy brought in another comment. I'll talk about this and lead off with the other rest of it. But AI art is seen as something we have some manner of control over. Where you fucked up is you thought you ever had any control over another person's sense of self-expression. That's where you fucked up. You thought you could tell somebody else how they can act and what they can do with their own body and mind and time. And the reality is that you don't have the right to do that. And there are exceptions. Oh, there are exceptions, but I guarantee you that AI art isn't going to be one of them. Let's be real. And this is, yeah, 100% opinion, no real functioning human can hold. Yep, there it is. And so that's the way it goes. No fundamental difference in AI art generation and artists taking inspiration from other art on the internet. Is that stealing? I would actually agree with this, and I know this is going to get a lot of artists mad at me, but I'm going to say it. I also agree with what this guy's saying, that there is no fundamental difference between AI art generation and an artist taking inspiration from other art on the internet. I really actually think it's the same thing. Now, if somebody thinks it's not, I'm willing to read an argument of why I'm wrong. But from so far, I haven't seen an argument that I feel like convinces me. I don't think it's that different. Ask an artist. Well, I don't care who they are, right? Obviously, artists have a bias in one direction, but an argument is either true or it's not true. Artists cite references, AI doesn't. No, they don't. One benefits an artist, the other benefits an AI. Well, who uses the AI? That's like saying, like, let me think of a way to put this. Like the AI is a tool. The AI doesn't get benefited because it doesn't, there's nothing for it to benefit, it can't benefit. It's just a machine. It isn't different. Yeah, I don't think that it is. Personally, I don't think so. It isn't different. Yeah, I really don't think so. Who cares about the source? Both AI and human art do the same thing. Use as consumers. Exactly. And so, yeah, people are playing chess, even if a computer already surpassed them. And just like that AI art will never replace the dedication of a real artist. I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't know how the fuck people buy OnlyFans. Like, you can Google big boobs and you can get a bunch of results on Google, but you still have people paying $30 for a picture? Who the fuck thought that was possible? Like, I mean, for real, guys. How the fuck did that happen? But here we are. It never made sense. Yeah, but it's true. And so anyway, let's read some of these. Let's get into it. AI cannot create anything new. Artists stealing ideas is still creating new. In a world where we live of AI art, we'll be getting the same shit over and over. It's a symbiotic relationship. AI art cannot create anything new. How do you define new? Because, so if you make a picture and that picture has never existed before, like, and this was the problem, right? And like, this was, like, so my mom was really into art. She was really, really into art. She like, and bro, like, she was so into it. She would not just teach me. She would be teaching like Cody and Jeff, like other little Cody, like Mick Reevy, Zach. She'd be trying to teach us art. And I remember, bro, like, we were in our 20s by the time that, like, she finally got through to us about Jackson Pollock, for example, right? Because, like, the first time I saw a picture of Jackson Pollock, right? Let me just real quick. I said, bro, like, you telling me some fucking dumbass actually paid money for this shit? Is you telling me some fucking dipshit got hoodwinked out of $1,000 for this piece of fucking garbage? You telling me that I'm not in third grade? It's worth $1 million? And I never understood it until I got a lot older. I never did. He's drunk whenever he painted those. He was. But what I've learned is that at the end of the day, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if people perceive value, then it exists. And it's not up to me, and it's not up to you to decide what somebody else sees value in. I mean, fuck, NFTs make more sense than this shit. Why do you buy this? But there it is. And so anyway, my mom would teach us about this whenever we were young and whenever we were older too. And I think this is the first time I really kind of, you know, came to grasp the concept of subjective value in a functional way. It's tax evasion for the rich. I think it's more asset diversification. Like, you're right about the you're right about that, and I know how the loss thing works. It's like, how do you, bro? Trump was right about this shit, right? Is that there are so many of these loopholes and obvious fucking scams that you can use in taxes, and it's like, why haven't we figured this out? Why do they exist? Like, what is this? And cover the TFT drama? Give me a few minutes and I'll look at that. I don't know a whole lot about it yet, so I'll be looking at it first case. So yeah, tax the poor because the politicians use them. I know, man. I know. And he was right. I believe him on that one. Absolutely. And he was the only person who fucking said it too. Well, Ron Paul said it back in the day. Hey. Ron Paul. And it's kind of wild. People take away from this stuff. Something like, right, standing with creatives. How much people look away from this stuff. It's something like, right, especially after write all the talk about standing with creatives. So this person is coming to the realization that nobody really cares about these problems. And I'm going to go ahead and read what this guy is saying. Like, genuinely, a lot of people I respect are looking the other way because it's popular or fun. Everyone is so quick to point out when people can't keep a small inconvenience for a greater truth. How is this any different? As an artist, this is all a real disappointment. I specifically wish this wasn't Pokemon related so people would actually notice this was a much bigger deal for gaming or anything creative as rather than it's just fandom wars. That being said, it's a good thing fans were involved in pointing out this very obviously an issue, because it's both sad and frustrating that seemingly almost no gaming professionals media decided to themselves. This person has a very distorted view on what reality is, and I want to explain why. So, I'm thinking, like, should I make a chart for this? No. I think I'll just explain it. You see, gaming media and, like, gaming, like, journalists and stuff like that, they exist on the backs of the customer. They exist to the extent that what they say resonates with the customer. If you're publishing a bunch of bullshit that nobody agrees with, well, then people are going to stop reading what you have to say. Like, that's just how these things go. And so, why are people writing positive articles about Palworld? Well, it's because people like Palworld. That's the reason. You guys remember whenever I called out the people that were making Dark and Darker, Iron Mace, and I was like, guys, I'm not sure if they're completely innocent, and a lot of people got mad at me. People were very unhappy about me saying that. Now, I did it anyway, but that's why people don't do it. People play video games for fun. They don't play video games to promote a worldview. They don't play video games to fight against a technological advancement. This is just simply not what real people do. It doesn't exist. And so this person is unhappy that other people aren't realizing this. This person has spent a long time in a fantasy world, and their eyes are being opened against their will. Is that nobody really cares about these problems. It's the same thing as streamers. Streamers always love to cry and complain about how hard being a streamer is. Nobody gives a fuck. People just want to watch a stream. Like, let me give you guys some context, an example. Yesterday, I was extremely uncomfortable, super stressed out. I was sick to my stomach. I had an awful fucking headache going to that convention. I felt terrible the entire time. The moment that I got home, I just ate Chipotle and passed out on the fucking bed there. I wake up, I feel even worse, and then I couldn't go back to sleep. I was awake until 6 in the morning. I'm drifting in and out of sleep, waking up, feeling like shit, anxiety, stress, a bunch of other shit going on. Like my head still hurts, my neck hurts, like I'm feeling uncomfortable constantly. What do you want to fucking hear about this all day? Who gives a fuck? Who fucking cares? Jesus Christ. I know you guys care. And you know why you care? It's because I don't fucking bother you with it. I get it. I understand. I know you guys are there for me. But also I want to be there for you guys. Because I know some of you guys woke up this morning and you felt the same fucking way. You felt even worse. And you come into the stream, and the last thing you want to hear is the same fucking shit. I have no problem talking about problems that I have, etc. But I understand my position. I understand my place. And I don't think that it makes the relationship that I have with my audience or other people any lesser. I think it makes it greater. Because it's built on something that's real. Rather than a fantasy and a fucking facade. So that's why. Streamers love to bitch and cry. Same as artists on Twitter, game developers. It's very popular being a fucking pussy. I've done it myself. But nobody really cares. People just want the content. That's it. It's like real art versus AI art. Yeah, it's not real. Yeah, I'm not a game developer. Oh, hey, bro, like, I realize, like, 99% of game developers are not like that, okay? It's just the 1% of loud people. The same as most things. But, yeah. Do you believe the pathetic Twitter preaching and virtue signaling invalidates the actual issue? I don't know if there really is that much of an actual issue, to be honest with you. I don't think that there really is. I don't think that there is an actual issue to be solved with AI in general. Other than a person like, you know, for example, like using somebody's likeness against their consent. Like, I think that should be illegal, right? I mean, just because, like, basically, everything that AI, like, does that's bad is already against the law. Does that make sense? Like, for example, like, impersonation is against the law. You know, copyright infringement, if you're doing it, like, you know, one-to-one, it's already against the law. So, like, what do we really need more rules for? So copyright's out the window? Well, mixing something up and then making it your own thing, I don't necessarily agree is copyright infringement. I don't agree with that. And again, maybe this is my, like, this is a, to a certain degree, keep in mind, this is a philosophical position that I have. Now, I can reason this backwards and I can say, hey, this is why I think this is why I believe this. But at the end of the day, like, these are assumptions that I'm making and values that I have. Other people have different values. I understand that too. But I'm just explaining where I am. Does that make sense? That's so true. Join group project. I deleted by mistake by listening to your stream. That's how long it's going to be. A long night. Have fun, man. And, you know, you can always check save state on your PC. There's a few other things you can maybe do too. It's a huge problem if a person can generate art based off of somebody else's work and then sell it for their own profit. Well, whenever you use the word based off of, I think that that is a large spectrum. And inside of that spectrum, I think that there is an acceptable level. You say based off of. What do you mean by based off of? JoJo's Bizarre Adventures art is based off of Fist of the North Star. I'll be honest. I think JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is way better. Kenshiro is great, but Jonathan Joestar, Joseph Joestar, completely clear him, in my opinion, in terms of characters. Now, if it was a fight, Kenshiro would beat the fucking shit out of them, right? Like, let's be honest. But in terms of them being an interesting character, I like the JoJo's better, right? That's it. I'll take. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's just what I think. And I think also Shin, way weaker villain than Dio. Infinitely weaker. It's not even remotely freaking close. Yeah, Death Battle JoJo versus Kenshiro. I think that honestly, okay, so if you really want me to get into it, I think that if so, like, Jotaro Onward would probably beat Kenshiro because of the stands, because they literally have, like, psychic powers, right? So it's like a different level of, like, existence. But, I mean, let's be honest. Hamon Energy and the fucking Divine Fist of the North, or whatever it was, the technique that Kenshiro knows, these are basically the same fucking things. And I never saw Jonathan Joestar punch a tank enough to where it blows up, okay? I never saw that happen. Okay, it's not even remotely fucking the same thing. Alright? It's all based on ki and energy? Yeah. Well, look, I feel like we're going really, Hamon was just good against vampires? Yes, basically. And we're going off on a huge tangent that will last 1 hour. But my point is still, my point's still that, like, this is the, there are a lot of things that are based off of something else, right? Let me go back and look at the rest of this. You can't use my creation to make money, period. And if you can, I'm going to sell Coca-Cola in the same bottle design. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're going to go ahead. It's a very great argument. So what do you think about that? Dr. Bob, yep, there it is. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. It is. Bro, I'm gonna be real. I wish this shit was illegal. This shit tastes like garbage. They should make this illegal before they make AI art illegal. Right? I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It's fucking disgusting. It's funny how we spent the last 2 months talking about YouTube plagiarism and AI stealing from creators being bad, only to reward a game doing both with 2 million plus sales. This tweet's obviously, these are pretty blatant. Yeah, the fake me out. I wonder if anyone find one-to-one assets in the game's files. And so, the reason why it's funny to me is because nobody really cared about this problem in the first place. Do you think people really cared about YouTube plagiarism? Of course not. They just used this as a foundation for people to shit on streamers they don't like. People really cared about, oh yeah, I really care about the ethics of React streams. No, people just wanted to shit on Hassan. Like, and yes, there are people that do have real opinions on this, but they're few and far between. They're mainly trying to shit on Hassan or XQC. That's the real goal. And this is just simply the vehicle in which that goal moves. The game has so many players, they go off into details. Yep, there it is. Oh, yeah. There's one thing I wanted to ask for some years. I'm writing about games. Vast majority don't care about games or developed unethically. It feels like some people are attached to the customer's always right mentality, that they despise that people make the things they love. It's very strange that they despise the people that make the things they love. No. They don't despise the people that make the things they love. They just want to play a game that's good. This person has... This is not an emotional relationship. Like, they just want to play the game. Like, it's not... That's it. That's literally... That's the end of it. They don't care what happens to you. Like, it's just... What are you talking about? That's it. It's not that deep, bro. Yeah, it's not that deep. It's transactional. Yeah. What is this? Suddenly, it's not a problem because, haha, funny Pokemon game. Something like this is finding success normalizes the use in the industry. So if you're against AI, it's time to back that up. Well, you're not really going to do that, though, right? Does Amazon profit from AI? Do they have their own AI models that they use? What's Grok? What is it? It's an AI, isn't it? It's Twitter AI. So why isn't he backing up not liking AI? He's streaming on Twitch and he's using Twitter. He wants everybody else to do what he wants them to do, but he's not going to do what he says everybody else should do. Jesus. They still can't explain how Palworld is taking money from Pokemon artists? Oh, they absolutely are. Absolutely, people are supporting this game and not buying Pokemon because of it. And to the extent that this game exists, Pokemon will sell less games. That's what happens in a free market. Do you think Pokemon has a fucking... They have the right to own the idea of having cartoon-like characters in a video game that you can capture? This is insane. How is this good for anybody else except for Nintendo? Certainly not good for me. So are you not playing it? Nope. Let's see if you play it or not. Where's this fucking... Jesus. No, it looks like he's actually not playing it. Good for him. Good for him. He's not doing it. He's a good boy. At least he's not doing it on his stream. He's a furry. By the way, there's a part of me that, I really think that the furry stuff in spaces with underage people shouldn't exist. Being a furry is a sexual fetish. And in the same way that I don't want to have people in like BDSM outfits, like a gimp suit, walking around with children, I find that being a furry is just a less overt mode of that. And I really find that to be very uncomfortable. And I think that the people that present this publicly, and this person says their profile is 18 plus, so I'm going to give them a pass, right? But in a general sense, this is incredibly unsettling to me. And I think that not enough people are talking about it because not enough people really know about it. But I find this to be very weird. Children should not be exposed to any adult sexual fetish in a public space, and preferably even in a private space. But it should never happen unless the parents consent to it. Furries can't be trusted? That's not true. Most furries are not bad people. They are normal people that are just into weird stuff. I have no internal dislike towards furries. I hope that they're happy, and I hope they do things that make them happy. In their own closed spaces, away from minors. The normal people? Yeah, there's plenty of people that are into weird stuff. And then after they're done jerking off to the weird stuff, they go back to being normal. Yeah, I mean, sure. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah, of course. Like, yeah. I mean, like, I'm not... Look, I'm not gonna be dishonest about this. I think that's just the reality. Like, most people are normal, but they get into weird stuff. Like, I mean, fuck. So anyway, heads up, anyone thinking is supporting playing Palworld cares about the AI gen issues. The CEO of the studio is full speed ahead on generative AI, frequently promotes it and tries to push its use in its studio, even made a game that focused entirely around using SD. So here we go. This is him talking about it. And so he made a video game, and it's called AI Art Imposter, a werewolf-like game that lets an AI artist draw a picture, is now on sale. So we are actually going to play this game this week coming up. After many delays behind the scenes, it's finally been released. We're running a GPU on our server. Yeah, we're going to be playing this game. It's like Among Us, but you're stealing. Yeah, playing it? Yeah, we're going to do that this week. I'll probably play Palworld a bit more, and then I'll do it. It's probably fun. Well, it'll probably make like 4 or 5 good clips, right? There's nothing sexual about being a furry. Don't try to make it dirty. Really? Okay. I'm not convinced. I don't think that that's true. Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't. Sorry. Anyway. So yeah, this is the game that one of the people who made Palworld made before. It's literally Among Us, but you're stealing art with AI. Pocket Pair, a result of the introducing AI to improve work efficiency. Employees began to completely delegate their work to AI. but the quality was too high and they were disappointed. I'm having so much fun creating crazy AI that I'm not making any progress at all. So basically, this guy is being criticized and hated on because he's making his employees' jobs easier. Oh my God. This is incredible. He still pays them. Yeah, he does. And he probably won't forever. Eventually, he'll be able to get the AI to do their whole job. 100% it's easier. I'm good for that. Yep, there it is. And this is him showing the results of the text-to-video in Eyes paper are amazing. So a stormtrooper vacuuming a beach. Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that. Took your gerbs. Yep, there it is. Don't care, had fun with Palworld. Exactly. People will always be afraid of change. Nothing will change. And has always been like this in human history. Yeah, something like that. Pocket pair of Palworld's developers are practically built on copying, plagiarizing currently popular games and tropes, and Palworld is not the first. From a quality standpoint, Pocket Pair has a history of leaving games in buggy, unfinished states, all while charging a fairly high price point. And, oh, by the way, yeah, if Palworld, like, I paid $30 for the game, I've got my money's worth. I mean, how many hours I put into this fucking shit? 49 hours? Half of it's AFK, to be fair. Yeah, I got my money's worth out of it. I don't care. Like, I'm not even done with the game. No, because I left the game on, and so, like, it racked up hours. I didn't really play it that long. But, yeah. Let's talk about plagiarism. Palworld steals Pokemon design. Some say it's okay since Pokemon is owned by a massive company. Bro, what is this dumb fuck logic? That it's okay to steal it if it's from a big company? Why? Why is it okay to steal if it's from a big company? Who made that? Who said that? Who invented this? It's woke logic. Yeah, it's crazy. What is this? By the way, it's not okay. No, it's not. It's not more okay. Woke people love stealing. Oh, people love doing bad things and thinking it's not bad. That's what they like doing. That's the logic. Justify everything these days? Yeah, exactly. The Robin Hood defense. Oh. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Wow, it's the same thing. I can't believe it. Yeah, wow. Cry me a fucking river. Okay, I feel very sorry right now for all the devs in the industry who must be wondering what they're working so hard for whenever you see AI copy pasta trash like this selling more than games like Metroid Dread or Hollow Knight. Ah. I'm thinking of the example to use to prove this is stupid. I'm deciding whether I should use the example of the Nike swoosh. Should I use the Jackson Pollock example again? Because there are so many examples that I can use to make this statement sound stupid. And to explain why this is stupid. The swoosh? Yeah, let's use the swoosh as a metaphor. So Nike was having a lot of trouble figuring out what their logo was going to be. Nobody had any idea what it was going to be. And within the, in the 11th hour, hours before they had to come to a decision, some guy randomly just did whoop. They did the swoosh. Just do it. And now everybody has probably owned or does currently own a shirt with that on it. I know I did. I probably still do. It was a girl. Oh, guys, well, then the point isn't true because everybody knows that, women can't do anything like that, right? What's the point? If it's a person, a girl, a guy, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. What are you bringing that up for? Who cares? Of course there are women that can come up with a brand logo that's good, okay? Who's a furry? Yeah, what is this? Oh, you don't need to assert that. Actually, to be fair, though, if there are people that are just expressing that, I do appreciate the information because I actually didn't know that. So thank you. Either way, though, if you're trying to turn it into a situation, then no, fuck off. Anyway, whenever I see this, it makes me think of that. And also, like, here's another question, right? Is whenever you pay a plumber, like let's say you pay a plumber to come over to your house, and the plumber fixes your problem in 10 minutes. Do you pay the plumber for the 10 minutes, or do you pay him for the 20 years that contributed to him being able to solve your problem in 10 minutes? And the answer clearly is both, right? Yes. And so, Picasso logic? Yeah. Picasso said once, it took me 3 years to learn how to paint like, was it Da Vinci or Michelangelo? And it took me 20 years to learn how to paint like a child. And it's crazy to think that Picasso wasn't like, the 1600s. It was like, 50 years ago Picasso was around. So, yeah. And about fake repairs at auto shops? Oh, like the Johnson rods? No, I don't think that's really it. I watched a tech repair shop charge an old man $30 to change his email passwords. Yeah, I mean, like, well, here's the thing, right? Is that if you make a game and people don't buy it, and then somebody else is working harder than you, or sorry, and this is actually, let me go back. Remember what I've always said is how the harder, nobody cares how hard you work at something. People only care about the end result. It doesn't matter about how long this takes you, how hard this is, how much effort it was. Nobody really cares about any of that. People just care about the end result. Yeah, this is the proof right here. Same as Dark and Darker. Dark and Darker was copy-pasted. Tons of things from Dark and Darker was copy-pasted. But the part that wasn't was good enough to make the game good. That's it. It was fun, though. Yeah, it's because people don't care about anything else except for it being fun. Last week, Foamsters used Midjourney and a few unimportant images, and gamers are mad. This week, an unapologetic plagiarist likely fed Pokemon into an AI to generate the core designs of Palworld, and gamers are surprisingly cool with it because they want to play this one. Yes, because gamers don't care. I was commenting on the gamers. I have to say, Michael, you are a gamer. You're not othering gamers here, okay? You're the gamer. You think you're different than them? No. You go to the same stores, you use Steam the same as they do. Just because you have a different viewpoint on it doesn't make you special, okay? Everybody knows gamers are a monolith. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Yahoo should change my passwords. Yeah, you're a gamer. He's a gamer. We're all gamers. We are. Oh, did I call him Matthew? Michael? Well, Matthew. Who gives a fuck, right? The point's still the same. So, yeah. A lot of people have been really upset about Palworld. And, as I've said before, is that the problems that people have with AI are all fake. They don't really care about these issues. They are fake problems that people that have no problems in real life create on the internet in order to feel like their life has some sort of meaning or purpose. These things don't matter to any real person. They are all just a virtue signal. And the average customer is right as a collective. And if the market says yes, no internet tastemaker is in their right mind able to say no. Not me, not Matthew over there, not the writers at Kotaku, YouTubers, nobody. The customer is always right, collectively. People don't care about how something was made. People don't care about if it was good or bad, if it was ethical or not. People don't care about if AI was used. People don't care if people died. Somebody died while they were making Ben-Hur. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. If you haven't seen it, you should. Somebody fucking died. Who cares? It's a great movie. What are we gonna... we gonna stop watching a movie now? Like, I mean, what is this? The people who care about something got made will look into how it's made? Yeah, exactly. There are real issues with AI, but those issues need to be handled in court with legislation. Crying on X isn't going to solve anything. Well, yeah, but I think that, like, there was, like, an age, and it's been going on for, like, maybe 10 years, right? Like, better part of 10 years, at least, where, a lot of Western companies are afraid to do anything that will cause viral Twitter outrage posts. And every single game that is massively successful, like Palworld, and previously, like Hogwarts Legacy, proves, and also Lost Ark, right? Because like Lost Ark was like criticized for a number of things, like being pay to win, like objectification of women, etc., right? And every single game, Baldur's Gate 3, yeah. Well, Baldur's Gate 3 actually didn't really get any hate, to be honest. But these problems aren't real. And the people that care about them aren't an audience. And all the people that pretend like they care, half of the people that like this tweet probably play the game. Because nobody really cares about these issues anyway. What a surprise. A market full of people who are playing video games because they can't cope with reality and manage their own real time have little self-control in video games as well. Yeah, that's why they're playing video games in the first place. It's called data above emotion. Yeah, exactly. And this is what's going to happen. Is that, remember what I told you guys, how AI will create a market difference where Western companies won't be using AI, and then they will fall behind to companies that do use AI? Because consumers will choose AI-generated products because they will be better? Remember what I said? It's happening right here. And you're seeing these games do this now. It's inevitable, it is. Because the market doesn't care. Palworld, can you completely streamer-created hype game? I've never even heard of it until everyone started playing it. Yeah, but why did everybody start playing it? Like, for example, I'll give you an argument against that. So, my first video that I did for Palworld has over 1 million views, and it's a VOD, and it just was uploaded to, it's a literal fucking 2-hour VOD with over 1 million views on YouTube. Where are those million people coming from? They're coming from people that want to see the game. Because, for example, and I'll give you a good parallel for this. I recently played the new Prince of Persia game. This one only had 289,000 views. So why did more people watch the Palworld video than the Prince of Persia video? It's because more people liked Palworld. To avoid spoilers? No, I don't really think that's it. I think you bring up a good point, but people like watching Monster Hunter as well. Like, if I go back and I look at the first video I did of Monster Hunter, where's that? It has 1.4 million views. It's a 5-hour VOD. Why did people watch this? Because they like the game. Technically, Monster Hunter is 6 years old. Oh, so you're saying that, like, I'd need to find a story game that just came out recently and then compare it? Okay, I'll do that. The Coffin of Andy and Laylee, whenever I played that, this game had just recently come out at the time that I played it, and the video for it has 1 million views. Do you want to come up with another argument? She's so hot. She really is. Generally agree with your take on AI, but the difference between AI images and art are the intention. In art, every detail usually has a meaning. You can think about what the creator thought. In an AI-generated image, it's just junk from an AI model, maybe fixed up with Photoshop. Calling it art is overkill. Okay. So, this is a... I think you're wrong, but I think this is a well-structured argument, and he's not being rude. Let's listen to what he's saying. Does AI art and art are the intention? I think that it's impossible to derive what the intention is from what somebody's writing, because I think that there are a lot of artists, and I think this is especially true with AAA development, is that a lot of the artists might have been passionate, but that was 7 years ago, right? And now they're 31 and jaded, and, you know, they just can't wait to get off work so they could get drunk and, you know, do their art for their own personal game that they're making on the side. And so I don't think that that's necessarily true in a way that you can automatically discern from just looking at the art itself. I think this is especially true on bigger studios, you know, which, by the way, Nintendo is quite a big studio. In art, every detail usually has a meaning. I think that's true in a case, but I don't think that those details always... Does meaning create value? Because I'm going to give you an argument of, like, why I think that it doesn't always. Because, like, for example, I think some of the greatest weapons that Blizzard ever made in WoW were, like, the Burning Crusade and the vanilla WoW weapons. Because they were these, like, hyper-stylized, really cool, badass weapons that really weren't that intricate, but they just looked fucking amazing. They looked so cool. And then as Blizzard started making these ornate and more regal designs that are, like, intricate and they have, like, all this stuff in them, I actually think that they lost a lot of quality by doing that. And I would like for them to go back to the soul of the flashy, vibrant, strong, like, fucking in-your-face weapons like the Soul Cleaver, or the Warglaives of Azeroth, or the Golden Bow of Quel'Thalas, or the Hungering Cold. That was one of my favorite ones. Or Ashbringer. I mean, fuck, dude, Ashbringer was so cool. And so, yeah, I disagree with that too. I think that you can... this is a relatively good point, and I think that this is kind of true. You can think about what the creator thought. Yeah, I hope I don't get fired this month. In AI-generated images, it's just junk from an AI model fixed up with Photoshop. Calling it art is overkill. I think that, really, we've already kind of gone through a reformation of this before. And I think that we've gone through it twice. Because I remember whenever I was very young, there were a lot of people who considered digital art not real art. Like things that were created through Photoshop or through digital reproduction. And then before this is like before any of our time, but photography was viewed the same way. Because with photography, many people that, like, before photography happened, there was a large, very large industry of people who would make money by creating photorealistic recreations of different images. But whenever photography came in, then that no longer had value. Now, there are still some set of people that do this, and I've seen pictures of it, and it's incredible. However, it just simply doesn't have the same value that it used to. And I think that also, would you call photography nowadays art? I think the answer to that is yes. Many people, I would say even most people, would consider photography art. I also disagree with gatekeeping the word art, because I think that art is subjective. And that's kind of my point that I was getting at whenever I was talking about Jackson Pollock, and about how the quality of the art is subjective in value. Like, for example, I'm not really a big Jackson Pollock fan. Cody loves Jackson Pollock. Like, one of the paintings that my mom had of Jackson Pollock, I gave to Cody. And it's his now. And so, to each their own. So those are the reasons why, like, I see what you're saying, but I don't think that's true. But yeah, this is not a bad comment. Yeah, Jackson Pollock? Oh, no, it was just a print. It was just a print. No, we didn't. I have, like, some, like, kind of, like, low value art, but, like, not really. No, I don't have anything. The closest thing I have is, like, I have a picture made that, like, she got for me. There's, like, a picture of Don Quixote. And it's, like, over there. I don't really have it showing, but that's pretty much the only thing like that that I have. And, like, I don't even think that's, like, extremely high value either. It's just, you know, something above a poster at Walmart value. Anyway, I saw this. I swear I'm playing it for the gameplay. Seeking a night of love. It is always chasing someone around. At first, it only showed interest in other pals, but in recent years, even humans have become the target of its debauchery. Man. Apparently, yeah, it's number 69 as well.